Peter, as we wrap up, I just wondered if there's any thoughts you've got for hoteliers that haven't deployed energy management or a lighting solution at this point in time. What would you suggest that they do now?
I guess when you sit down and if you're at a stage in a project or a refurb that you think, well, what can we do to this place, and you drag it up to the today's standards and prepare us for the future. I mean, there's a few real fundamentals. Yep. The first thing is your guest experience is everything. Without that, there's no point in having a great system that is so complicated to use that you get bad reviews and no one stays there. So that's the first and foremost. The next step is the operability. So for us, that's not just the guest using it, it's how that interfaces to the PMS and the other things which we've already discussed. But almost as important is what happens when the construction crew who have just redeveloped the hotel all leave, the engineering department end up with this system in their lap, and it becomes a nightmare to maintain. And we see it now. I mean, we're seeing that on projects where you have DALI, which is a digitally addressable lighting interface, which basically means that each light fitting can be controlled individually and grouped and dimmed and all that nice functionality. Great system, it works really well, and it's very common in all projects, commercial or otherwise. But in hotel rooms, it can be a problem for the engineering staff to maintain. They've now got to get laptops out if a lamp fails, and it's not like the olden days where you unscrewed a bulb and put a new one in, the whole fitting comes out. If that fitting has to come out, it has to be with a laptop readdressed so it can be put back in and operate. And that means the technical abilities or skills of the engineering staff need to be, upscaled. That sort of level of, ongoing maintenance and usability. There's so many different products and switches and styles out there. But again, if they get damaged, how quickly can you get a replacement? How expensive are they? How easy it is to swap over? The days of the old dumb switch, which had some wires wide in the back, which, with a screwdriver you could swap over, they're gone. It's now a digital cable that you've got to somehow program. No, I'm all good. I'm happy with that because that's a service we offer. But, for the poor old hotelier, he doesn't want to have to pay us every time we come out. So there's those sorts of things need to be considered. And unfortunately, a lot of that slips through the cracks when someone's thinking about what they're going to be doing in a hotel and, all these nice features and whiz-bang, products they're going to deploy. How's it going to look in 5 or 10 years? Are you still going to be able to get them and service them, and how well is it going to work?
Yeah, it's a really good point. So not just now, look at the serviceability of it and the skill set required. And really what you're saying there is the complexity involved. Those DALI lightings are almost, well, they're an IP based solution, aren't they? So you can't just change the light, you need to reprogram. So that's network type skills, which is generally beyond a lot of hotel engineering teams, unfortunately. It's become an IT product.
Certainly, yeah. And even in the rooms, even though the rooms might be relatively, manageable, once you leave that room and you're jumping on the IP infrastructure that the IT people have provided, all of a sudden you're getting into the worlds of VLANs and security and firewalls, and it's far more significant. It's far more involved than it ever has been. But I mean, it's certainly manageable. It's doable. It's just a lot of effort has to go into making sure it's right. Otherwise, you leave yourself open for, hacks and other sorts of, intrusions onto your network.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. Having someone that looks after your network that is actually skilled in doing that. And these days, what we're seeing now is converged networks as well. So, previously there was a network for guests and guests only, and there was a network for, cameras and things like that. Now they're all on the same network, and you need somebody who's going to take care and maintain that network for you, and I suppose take responsibility for it as well, as you said, making sure that people don't hack into it and things like that.
Yeah, and unfortunately with hotels, a little change or a little mistake or an upgrade is not a big thing until you multiply it 400 or 500 times.
True.
Then it becomes a problem. So again, that serviceability, being able to do upgrades from a central point remotely, being able to remote into the site, and we've had new projects where they'd like a scene tweaked or changed. Well, being able to do that where you can actually push that out centrally and you don't have to go to every room, which means you're not interrupting guests, you're not having to disrupt housekeeping to plug this in and do something whenever you go to a room. You can do it all centrally. It's fantastic.
And that makes perfect sense. Yeah.